business plan support, market research, business registration, and more. So if you're looking to start a business and you just want, suggestions on what would be the next steps, you can go to them with a consultation. Or if you already have a business and you're like, I don't know where to go from here, same thing, they can support you with that. And you can visit their website to book one of those consultation meetings at regionalbusiness.ca. And we have a few more really exciting webinars coming up. So part of our entrepreneurship series, we have the market research and how to write a business plan webinars coming up on 2 different dates, one in November, one in December. As our guest speaker webinars, we have networking and how to build a business partnership. So that's going to be presented by Jennifer Self from the Greater Sudbury Chamber of Commerce. And Jennifer was actually recommended by a few people because of how amazing she is at networking. So I'm really excited to learn how to do that. That's happening on November 28th. And then on December 12th, we have guest speaker Lindsay Dupree from LMD Solutions is going to be talking about planning your business workflow. That's also going to be really exciting. It's going to dive into how to streamline your workflow to boost your productivity. So that's going to include things like identifying bottlenecks, like where is it in your business that you're struggling and where does the process need to improve? So really great webinar for you if you already have an existing business and you're looking to figure out how to, operate it in the most efficient way. Okay, and I'd like to present our speaker today. So Charles Baquet is from the Northern Ontario Black Economic Empowerment Program, also known as NOBEEP. And they are Canadian government supported Northern Ontario Development Initiative managed by the Afro-Heritage Association of Sudbury. So Charles was born in Kumasi and raised in Accra, Ghana, and he moved to Sudbury at the age of 16 to attend Laurentian University. So Charles holds a Bachelor of Arts with concentration in computer science, and he loves learning in whatever form it comes and thoroughly enjoys establishing connections with people of all ages and from all walks of life. And he's the program and events coordinator at NOBEEP, and he's responsible for developing programming and events, but also speaking and sharing information about NOBEEP like he's going to do today. So welcome, Charles. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Well, thank you very much, Melissa. Lots of words, but obviously I'm excited to be here and to have this conversation with you, and I hope that the participants find it informative too.
Absolutely. We're really glad to have you, Charles. And just to inform the group, this presentation is going to be more interview style. So we're going to be asking some really great questions, having a conversation, and then we're going to open the floor to some questions from the group. And we do have a few, some team members moderating the chat as well. So we'll get started. So Charles, tell us a little bit about you and what attracted you to work in your position where you're getting to support entrepreneurs of the Northern Ontario Black community?
Certainly. So just a bit about me. As you said, I was born and raised in Ghana, West Africa, specifically Kumasi. And I came to Sudbury when I was 16 to attend Laurentian University. I was perfectly fine going to university back home, but my parents thought it would be a good idea for me to experience the world, if you will, because up until that point, I had obviously never left home, right? So just obviously that aside, with no beep, a background in computer science doesn't really translate, right? Because you need a business background to get into it. I didn't have that. I out of school decided to actually go work in retail for a year, and I made that conscious decision because I was very shy at the time, and I needed to get out of that shell. So a job in retail where you were forced to literally have conversations with people because you have to help them find stuff, right? That was very helpful to me in just helping me to strike conversations with strangers. I was also required to do it. So I thought it was very helpful. And then as I was working in retail, just after one full year, I heard about the opportunity to work at NOBEEP. Now, again, it's not in computer science, right? It's not computer science related. However, the idea of an organization, a nonprofit specifically, that is supporting Black entrepreneurs was very interesting to me because one, It's an opportunity for me to be part of something bigger than myself, right? I'm very big on supporting people. I'm very big on just giving of myself and my time. So it's beautiful that I get paid to do something that I really enjoy, which is just to support people, right? So it was a no-brainer to me when that opportunity came up. I just literally latched onto it, and this job has been such a blessing in regards to just helping me to work on my communication skills, helping me build my business acumen to a point where I'm actually looking to start a few of my own businesses down the line, right? And I want them to be in Northern Ontario because this job has made me see the beauty of Northern Ontario and just the possibilities in the north. Because I've been to Toronto, I've been down south. There's a lot that happens down there. It's not it's not for me because it's just too busy. It's just too busy of a place. It's too crowded. But the north is just has this untapped potential that I don't think a lot of people in, I would say even Ontario realize. Yeah.
Yes, no, thank you for walking us through that journey. And certainly, like you said, right, it gives you a chance to meet so many different businesses and business owners and community members, and I'm sure it's a great way to connect that way too. So who does NOBEEP support,
That's a
and
very, yeah.
how do you become a client or a member?
Right. So NOBEEP, obviously, it's a nonprofit operating under the Afro-Heritage Association of Sudbury. For NOBEEP, we support individuals that identify as Black or whose businesses cater to Black people, which in a sense is just anyone that identifies as Black or has a business, because if if you're an entrepreneur, you don't know where to go, right, and you're not Black, right, every business essentially caters to Black people, right, we can still provide resources to help you on your journey, right. Our main focus is on the Black community, but we don't turn people away that do need that support, right. And for No Beep, obviously what we do, we can do so without the help of our partners, right? Like the Regional Business Center and the Innovation Quarters, right? Even with the Community Future Development Corporation, so the CFDCs for short, they are integral to what we do here because although we provide consultation, we help with the development of business plans, we sponsor a lot of our clients to attend events and to undergo certain training programs, right? We host webinars, we don't have access to funding. We don't provide access to funding because in our funding agreement, that was a stipulation from the government, right? So in order to provide access to funding our to our clients, we need our partners to be able to help us do that. These would be banks, right? So private organizations and also accessing grants, right? So people that identify as Black or Black identifying individuals, anyone with a business that just needs some kind of support, right? Because they might not hear of you, right? But they might hear of us. And again, we can point them in the right direction, right? So that those be the groups of people that we support. And regarding the process of one becoming a client, it's very easy, right? Because we're funded by the government, everything that we do has to be tracked, right? So we always ask potential clients to sign up to become a member on our website, right? We have a client form that they fill out. Once they fill out that client form, if we have a phase one meeting, which we call a business assessment meeting or a business idea assessment meeting, right? So you could either have a business that you've already started or a business idea that you have, right? So we do that, we go through it, we assess what you've done or what you haven't done, and then we have a secondary meeting that we call the phase two, where we narrow down your needs, and then from there we can start building your pathway to market, if you will, if you are yet to go to market. Right? So it's a very simple process, nothing too convoluted.
And it sounds like you build sort of like an ongoing, relationship with the clients that you support, right? As you continue to
Yeah,
help them grow. That's
yeah,
wonderful. You did talk
absolutely.
about funding a few times. So,
Yes.
and you say you don't provide any funding, but
No.
are there any private or public funding, opportunities, that you do recommend?
Yes, we work closely with some of the banks in town, the big five. The ones that we have direct relationships with would be RBC and BMO, right? But I know, well, we know that RBC, BMO, CIBC, TD, Scotiabank all have programs literally tailored to Black entrepreneurs, but also not just Black entrepreneurs, but just people of color in general, right? So RBC, for example, has the Black Entrepreneur Business Loan, which they provide access to loans of up to 250,000. What's interesting is that the other four also provide access to loans of up to 250,000, right? So they kind of just mirroring each other in terms of the funding that they provide through these programs. And RBC is particularly interesting because they support Futurepreneur. Futurepreneur is another organization that provides like a mentorship, training, resources to entrepreneurs from all walks of life, right? But they also have a stream specifically for Black entrepreneurs, right? So there are with the big five banks, anyways, there are you can't go wrong with any of them. Once you walk into one, right, and you ask about the program that they have for Black entrepreneurs, they should be able to provide some form of assistance, right? So that would be with private, just with the banks. However, with public, there's almost an exhaustive list of funding out there, of grants available. So much so that last year I sort of went on a hunt for all of the grants available in Northern Ontario and I stumbled on a website called the Ontario Business Grants. Now, this website is very cool because it has all of the grants available in Ontario, and you can actually organize them by the audience, right? So if you're Black, if you're Indigenous, if you're an immigrant, if you're a woman, you can organize them by the industry you're in, and even in the city that you're in too, right? So if I still have access, I just want to go through it for a bit, just to show everyone what the website looks like. And it's, let me see here, share screen. Okay, do. Can we all see the website or no?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so this is the Ontario Business Grants website, and again, it is a really great resource for finding out the grants that are available in Ontario, right? So if I go on the Best Grants tab, I can see grants by audience, grants by city, by incentive type, right? So accelerators, competitions by industry, by purpose of funding. Right, so if we go to, say, by audience and we go to, say, Black entrepreneurs, let's see what it gives us. Okay, Black, it tells you who this grant is for, what this grant covers, how much funding is available, who is eligible under this grant, right? And then it starts to list them, right? So we have the BFM Black Founders Network Accelerate at the University of Toronto, right? So there's no fixed amount, but again, this is a grant that is available, and this one is sort of an accelerator, a grant, and a loan combined, right? If I keep going, keep going. Right, the Federation of African Canadian Economics, right? So this website is something I use fairly frequently, honestly, because it's just so much. Now let's try by, let me say, it's the immigrants, specifically immigrants. Let's see what we get. Keep scrolling. Entrepreneurship Fund, and I represent founders. It's not a fixed amount, but it is a grant. Is there anything more? That's one. Access Community Capital Fund, BDC, Newcomers Entrepreneur Loan, that's 50,000. Futurepreneur Canada, Newcomer Program, Quick Guide for Young Entrepreneurs, 25,000. Right, so now let's try one more. I go here. Let's do Indigenous. Let's see what we get. And everyone can follow what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
great.
It's great. Yeah. So honestly, this website, if you are if you're on the hunt for grants, this website is an excellent resource, and it will take you to the site where you can actually apply for these grants. It will tell you if it's currently accepting, let's say, proposals or not, right? So it's a great resource, and I recommend everyone actually goes on their own to look at the website and just play with it and see what you can find. Recently, I was told by the creator of this website that they actually have an AI tool now that helps you to narrow down all of the grants available that you can actually apply for. Now that is paid. However, if you have $200 burning a hole in your pocket and you'd like to find out the grants available in Ontario, this is the website that can help you do that. Okay. So that would be
Great.
that for grants available in Ontario.
Thank you for sharing that excellent resource, Charles. And I don't think that that's something that's very common knowledge, right? Like this is not something that a lot of us have used in the past. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for sharing.
of
On
course.
that note, I was just talking actually with participant in our program who's originally from India, and she was saying, is there any resources for someone like me? Like, are you familiar of any resources that, you know,
Yeah,
could apply to like, different cultures as well, different
cultures.
nationalities? Yeah.
Of course. The if we look at, I think Futurepreneur is honestly one of the best programs out there for all entrepreneurs, not just Black or Indian or right. So, and again, they have a representative for London, Ontario. I have his contact as well, right? But again, you have access to funding, you have access to mentorship, and the mentorship is actually up to 2 years, right? So that's a long time for someone to, I guess, show you the ropes of how to build your business off the ground, right? So I think Canada has done a phenomenal job of just providing resources to entrepreneurs in general, not just BIPOC entrepreneurs. But maybe the issue is just the awareness is not there, right?
Mhm.
So it is then up to us that know of these resources to make it known, right? Just to make you know, right? And webinars like these are very helpful in that regard, right? And also for the sake of posterity, if it goes on YouTube, I don't know if it is,
Mhm.
but again, it's excellent, excellent. So many resources out there. When I was doing my research a while ago, I was actually overwhelmed by just how many of them there were. And again, they're proven to work because we've had some of our clients go through some of these programs and get the funding they need to do their things, right? It's just another one too will be the RAISE grant, and I have it here because I can butcher the name, the Racialized and Indigenous Supports for Entrepreneurs, right? Now that's a program that provides access to business development training, cultural responsive and tailored business coaching, networking opportunities in a one-time grant of 10,000 to support Indigenous, Black, and other racialized entrepreneurs, right? And with that one, recently, two of our clients were able to get access to this funding to go towards eligible costs, right? So again, it's out there. The issue is if people know about it. The first time that we actually heard of this program was last year, and it was Jose that actually sent it to us, right? Because we didn't know about it.
Mhm.
So again, it really is all about those that do know about these resources sharing it with the community, right? And that's what it
Absolutely.
mostly comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's too bad. The deadline to apply for a raise has passed, but I mean, this
Yes.
could be something that gets renewed next year and give the opportunities to more eligible business owners to
This
receive
is
that access to that $10,000, which
yeah,
is great.
absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I don't work for Futurepreneur, but I will just plug Futurepreneur in as much as I can because again, it's open to everyone, right? I think they have maybe an age limit because they're mostly targeted to the youth, right? So it'll be 18 to 39, right? But the BDC, the Business Development Bank of Canada as well, has some really great programs, right? And it's just a matter of going on their website and tinkering with it, right? Or calling a representative in your city, right? So in Sudbury, I forget the name of the street that they're on, but I know they're just in the downtown area by but just close to Weaver Simmons. It's on Brady Street, I think. I'm not too sure, right? But again, excellent resources available to in and all entrepreneurs.
Hey, yes, absolutely. They also have a lot of like training material, like you mentioned. On the note of training and mentorship, NOBEEP provides that training and mentorship. I
Yeah.
did talk about our programs providing that as well. You did bring up Futurepreneur. And is there any other, training and mentorship program that would be perfect for, BIPOC plus entrepreneurs?
Yeah, that would be the raise grant that we talked about, but again, that closed. But for with this, I'm not too familiar with for other groups because this is sort of just within the Black community that I know of, right? But um, the ones that I have interacted with would be like the Federation of Black Canadians, right? And they have a 4 month long training program that equips entrepreneurs with the tools they need to succeed, right? There is also and there are a lot of them down south and a lot of them in BC as well, right? So unfortunately for Northern Ontario, we're not getting enough of the pie. I guess with anything, Northern Ontario sort of just is an afterthought, which is very unfortunate, right? But if we can make connections with these organizations down south, we can obviously benefit from their online resources. And again, futurepreneur, this futurepreneur, because again, the it's just a wonderful resource. I'm just mind blown at just how impactful it actually is, right? And again, there aren't many programs that I know of for other communities, right? And
Mhm.
perhaps that means that other communities are not getting as much love as the Black community. And if that's the case, well, we need to fix that, right? Because
Mhm.
it's not just about the Black community, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I love Futurepreneurs so much because they're properly inclusive in that sense, right? It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
It is
no,
true,
that's good.
right? Yeah.
Good, good. Okay, well, we've covered a lot of, like you said, training, grants, funding, that kind of thing. What about networking, right? Because we know it's important to network,
Yeah.
and to meet other like-minded entrepreneurs as well. So, are there any specific organizations or groups that promote, BIPOC plus networking?
Networking. Okay. So again, this is a lot of this is based on the groups that I've interacted with and just some research that I've done as well. And there aren't that many, but the ones that I do find are very, I guess the big organized one are mostly for the Black community, right? So there is I don't know if you've heard about the Black North Initiative that was created by Wes Hall, launched in 2020. And that's an organization that is dedicated to creating opportunities for Black Canadians to thrive, right? And there is also the Black Professionals in Tech Network, right? And that network exists to help Black professionals network, connect, and share resources to grow their careers. There's also the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, and their main mission is to unite and educate African and Caribbean entrepreneurs in growing their businesses and growing successful, sustainable businesses. And then there is also the Black Business Professional Association that exists to advance Canada's Black communities by delivering same thing, programming, access to funding, and so on and so forth. Right. So I'm not an expert on all things BIPOC, right? I'm just an individual who works for an organization that caters to the Black community, and I occasionally stumble upon things, right? But again, the internet is such a great tool in just finding out if there are, in fact, specific organizations that cater to XYZ communities, right? So I just I I keep bringing up Futurepreneur a lot because a lot of this they do. I know they have networking events, but obviously, if you're not down south, you might not be able to attend. But if it's something that you desperately need, right? Again, desperately, if you need that diversity, which we all do, and you can make it down to at least one event, I think the connections that you will make there and the information that you will get from this session will be transformational to your business, right? But yeah, a number of these organizations do have events that I've actually attended. I know the Black North Initiative had a gala that we attended just this past year. The Black Professionals in Tech Network also have a gala, but this is in the summer, right? So last year I attended the Black Professionals in Tech Network. It was a wonderful event with some really incredible people, right? So, and honestly, they wouldn't turn you away, even if you're not Black or whatever, they wouldn't turn you away, right? Because these are institutions that are for BIPOC communities, right? And if we really say we are for BIPOC communities, then it should be open to all, right? And that's essentially what NOBEEP is trying to do too. Again, the main focus is on the Black community. But if, let's say, an Indian gentleman walked in, we wouldn't turn him away, right? We will sit down with him, provide him the resources, and we'll actually follow up with him as well, because we would like to know we would like to know and would like to stay in touch with him in regards to his journey.
Wonderful. And that's glad to
Yeah,
hear for anybody that's in, here watching the webinar,
yeah,
even if you're not Black, you are still able to access those services. And
absolutely.
then briefly back to the networking part, doing a quick search online. I know it's typical to
It's
say, but
fair.
there are, Chamber of Commerce's,
Mrs.
like Canadian Chamber of Commerce for, the Canadian South Asian Women's Chamber, for example. Like there's different groups
Yeah.
that, if that's the group you want to join and you want to be a member of, they might have more opportunities. Perhaps
Opportunities.
in some cases they might have their own awards or their
Yeah.
own private grants. Like, there's many opportunities to network within your own community that way.
Hmm.
And of course we have the local Chamber of
Chamber
Commerce
of Commerce.
here
Yeah.
in Sudbury
Yeah.
that you can just meet other people and network as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can't have a thriving business without knowing how to properly network. So that networking webinar that you're having, I will most certainly be plugged in, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think people realize it's also a very intimidating thing, just going up to a stranger, just having a conversation, but also trying to be witty enough and interesting enough for you to sort of capture the attention. It's a daunting task, right? So I would recommend that we all attend that networking webinar.
Absolutely, for sure. Charles, does NOBEEP support Francophone entrepreneurs as well?
We do. Unfortunately, I am not bilingual, and honestly, I beat myself over this every single time because I should have paid more attention in school. So I should have done, right? But our services are bilingual, so English and French, and we have a proper bilingual individual that works here. Her name is Karen Ngoma. Karen is from the Congo, and her background is in the tourism industry, but she is honestly an incredible individual to work with. And she's our French liaison here. She handles everything Francophone related, right? So yes, our services are in English and in French.
Wonderful. Great.
Yeah.
And then back to really quickly to networking and events. Are there any specific events that you can recommend that maybe are upcoming?
Upcoming. Well, the one that I can recommend is, well, I would say one, but the Afro-Heritage Association of Sudbury, the nonprofit that NOBEEP operates under, we every year host a Black History Month gala, right? And it's an event to showcase Black entrepreneurs, but also the main point of it is for the whole community to come together to just have a wonderful time, right? And a wonderful time could mean anything for anybody, right? It could be an event where you could meet someone that could help you with your business, right? So we are very big on cross-cultural relations because, again, for us to go further, we need to go together, right? So we are all for it, opening up our doors to as many people as possible because, again, we're all one human race, right? With different ethnicities, right? We all bleed red, right? So what is the point in segregating us? Right. So the gala would be an excellent event to attend, but also the Chamber of Commerce right here in Sudbury is a phenomenal organization that puts on numerous events throughout the year that you could attend to meet people, to network. And I know that there are other groups in Sudbury that are trying to get off the ground as well. So definitely keep an eye out on the different ethnicities in Sudbury, right? So for example, I mean, I'm Ghanaian. There's a Ghanaian community here. It's large enough. They are trying to we're trying to get our own sort of organization off the ground, right? Just to support the Ghanaian community, that kind of thing, right? So chambers of commerce are excellent. The innovation contest, obviously, I know you host events from time to time, but you're an excellent resource as well. And if you're up for traveling, maybe go to North Bay because obviously that chamber there hosts events as well. And again, I would say take advantage of the beauty that is on Ontario. And if you're sort of based only in Sudbury, that's fine. But if you have the chance to go to the other communities in the north, I would say take that chance because you never know what you might find.
Mm. Yes, wonderful, Charles. And I do see that
Yeah.
there is also Afrofest as well. Is that something that's going to
Yes,
keep happening every year?
yes, absolutely. Afrofest will be happening as long as there's funding, which is always the case, right? But I am not sort of part of the planning team. I'm sort of a figure in the back, but I know the people that run it, and they're very passionate about bringing again the community together because although we are showcasing Black culture, it's not just for Black people. It's for all of us to enjoy each other's cultures, right? That's how we properly integrate. So Afrofest is an excellent one too. And thanks for bringing that up. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just see here. Okay. And how can we better support BIPOC plus entrepreneurs?
That's a very good question. And I did spend some time thinking about that. The first question I asked myself was, do we have enough resources to support the BIPOC entrepreneurs? And my answer to that is, I believe we do, right? Because you've already mentioned a number of organizations that are dedicated to BIPOC entrepreneurs, right? So we already have there's tons of access to funding. There are tons of mentorship programs, networking opportunities, and even incubators available to help BIPOC entrepreneurs and all entrepreneurs to either start or scale their businesses. And as I said before, I think the one thing that we can do that we're probably not doing enough of is just raising the awareness of these programs, right? That exist, right? And it would take a bit of sleuthing, right, to find them all out. But let's say these resources are not in one place. Perhaps we take it upon ourselves to work together and gather all these resources in one place so that instead of everyone is constantly on their own trying to find, okay, what's out there for me? Perhaps we have this one resource that you go in and everything you need is in here with, details and so on and so forth, right? So that the awareness piece, I think, is not there yet. And maybe it is down south, but I don't live down south. I don't know, but I know for up north, it's the awareness is definitely lacking, right? And I guess we all need to do a better job at raising the awareness of these resources, right? Yeah, and the usual just if you know of a BIPOC business, perhaps just patronize the business, just go in there and see what you can find. You might be surprised. But again, don't do things you don't want to, right? Don't let anyone force you to support. Of course, we all have free will, right? Don't let
Mhm.
anyone force you into supporting the business that you don't want to support just because they're a person of color, right?
For
If
sure.
it's not something that you don't agree with, that doesn't identify, whatever it is, just it's okay. It's
Mhm.
actually okay, right? Nobody needs to feel forced to do anything, right? Yeah.
But that's a great point, Charles. And just as a consumer, that we can support, BIPOC businesses by just purchasing what they're selling if we like it, right?
Okay.
And if I think of somebody who perhaps is not a newcomer, who's lived here for generations and has a huge circle of friends and network who say, "Hey, I'm going to start a business," and everybody's like, "I want to support you," and they all buy from you, and then you get reviews and you get to
Oops.
grow your business, versus maybe perhaps a newcomer
Yeah.
who's just arriving here and starting a
Okay.
business won't have that circle to help boost
No.
them, help leverage them. So doing your part in like purchasing and
That's it.
buying local and buying from, BIPOC owned businesses is a great way to kind of like and leave positive reviews, right? Is a great way to boost
Absolutely.
their business for
Yeah.
sure if you want to look
And
at support.
it is fairly simple to do too, right? Because we're all on our phones. We are all on our phones. It doesn't take that much effort to literally just go online and say something nice about a business that you just bought something from, right? It won't kill us. It won't kill us if we did that, truly. And again, unless you're not comfortable, if you're not comfortable, don't do it, right? But your dollars definitely help businesses for sure.
Any, absolutely.
Yeah,
And that goes to any local business, absolutely.
that is
Um,
correct.
so Charles, how do we connect with you? How do we learn more?
Right. So for NOBEEP, we have a website and it's literally NOBEEP.ca. And you can get a lot more information about what we do here at NOBEEP. But also I have my email address conveniently right here that I will try and punch in the chat if I can find the chat. Found it.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. Right at the
Let me
top.
just put my email in the chat. And if you have any questions, concerns, or compliments, you can send them my way. Okay. And I'll
Absolutely.
be more than happy to assist in any way, shape, or form that I can.
Okay. And quick question, Charles, does NOBEEP take
Yes.
walk-ins? Like, can someone walk off the street
Oh,
into your office?
absolutely. That is actually our bread and butter, honestly. We we have had way too many people, and this is not in a negative light, come in just chill out on the couch, and then we have conversations with them about their business, what they want to do. Honestly, if we are here 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, just walk in. People tend to miss us because of where we are located, sort of just walk straight and don't look right or to the left, right? So we are open 73 Elm Street. We're not too far from the Innovation Quarters. We're not too far from the Chamber of Commerce, right? Absolutely walk in, and we'll be more than happy to have a sit down with you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Charles. We're going to open it up to questions now. So if anybody has any
Yeah,
questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Someone did ask if we can share some of the links that were mentioned today.
yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
we can do that. As long as you registered using your email, then we can use that email to send these links to.
Perfect. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just put in the entire business grant website's link in the chat as well.
I do
Um,
believe I put it
you
in
you put in already.
already.
Oh,
Yes, the
very good.
OntarioBusinessGrants.com link. Yep.
Excellent. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. So any questions? The
I have a
pleasure's all
quick
mine.
question while people
Yes.
are typing in the chat, Charles. Are the services from NOBEEP accessible to people that don't have permanent residency or citizenship?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have student entrepreneurs here, right? And again, you don't need access to funding for, well, it will be difficult to get access to funding as an individual without the required status, right? But that doesn't mean you can't get information. That doesn't mean you can't get education, right? So we provide resources to such individuals too.
Great.
Yeah,
Mhm. We'll give it one more minute, and if we don't have any comments, then
for sure.
we'll end it here. But this has been
Sounds
a
good.
really great presentation, Charles.
Thank you.
And this session was recorded, so we will be sharing the video on our website. We'll be sharing it with you as well, so that you can share it with anybody who's looking to hear more.
Absolutely, for sure. I believe there's someone aggressively typing in the chat, so we'll see whose question comes out. Hope
Okay,
not
so
related
someone
to
has
this
a question
presentation.
not related to the presentation. If it's a question to Charles, yes, please type it in the chat. If it's a question that you want to have like answered privately, you can email us as well. So you can email Charles if it's for him, or you can email me and I'll put my email in the chat. And as a quick follow-up, we're going to send a little survey. It's a 30-second survey just to give us some feedback on today's presentation. And we really love hearing that positive feedback that helps us, continue to have webinars like these.
Or even negative feedback, I would
Yes,
say, right?
help us
Yeah,
grow. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so what are the Innovative Center events for members only? If so, what is the process to be a member? Okay, so this is related probably to the incubator program, which is the program run by the Innovation Quarters. That is a program that's run every 6 months. It's a small program. We only take a maximum of up to 12 businesses per cohort. So to become a participant in our incubator program, you want to go to our website at innovationquarters.ca and go onto the incubator program page, read all the details, see if it's the right fit for you, and then you can apply directly on our website at innovationquarters.ca, and I can pop the link in there. The events that are just for that program is the training that we do. We do workshops in person at the Innovation Quarters that are led by our mentors and myself. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining in today, and a big thank you to Charles and everybody at NOBEEP for, you know, sharing all this super valuable information with us.
Of course, and it's an absolute pleasure. If you need me for anything else, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to hop on.
Okay,
Truly.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, take care. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.